My brothers and sisters out there, sometimes it just takes a little reminder that through faith, anything is possible. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the most faithful person in the sense of like, my faith never wavers. I am a very faithful and loyal person, but at the end of the day, I am human, and I can't admit my faults. I can't admit my flaws. There are times where, if I'm being truthful, I do doubt myself. There are times where I struggle with my own beliefs, where I struggle with the faith in myself. Never with God, because I know God's never left my side no matter how bad I've struggled, but I do struggle with the fact that there are times where I feel a little more alone than I know I should. There are times where I feel a little more lost than I thought possible. And I realize in those moments, it's not that my faith is wavering or that I've lost all hope or that God's abandoned me. It's simply for the fact of my impatience. And now, as I'm working toward understanding what it is to truly be a patient human being, what it is to be a better person, a better father, a better son, I'm learning all these different things at the same time and finally understanding. Yes, I have a long way to go, but you know what? I'm grateful for these challenges. I am grateful that God has allowed me to be here, to keep pushing, to allow myself to be a better person. And no, it doesn't guarantee that tomorrow everything will be delivered and that you'll get everything you want in life. All it guarantees is this: when you pray hard enough and you ask for the assistance and you're doing everything with the right intentions, God will always have your back. But if you are trying to lie, to steal, to cheat, and to try to be a horrible human being, then you will be exposed. Things always happen for a reason, my brothers and sisters out there. And I will be honest, there are times where I struggle in my faith in myself. There are times where I struggle with, how am I going to figure this out? And these are the struggles I never talk about, because I was always raised that as a man, you kind of got to go through things alone. You know, there's not really anybody you can talk to. There's not really places you can go. You know, it's not that my mom never listened. My mom always was there for me. But there are certain things that, as I've gotten older now, I'm almost 27. I'll be 27 this year. And there's things that I should have had figured out when I turned 21, when I turned 22. You know, and I kind of let them go by the wayside. I focus on the wrong items, the wrong things. And I did become a little materialistic. And I can admit that now as an adult. I can admit that I've made mistakes, that I'm not perfect, that I focus on the wrong things, that allowed me to really kind of not lose sight of my vision, but it did distract me enough to the point where now I almost feel like, what have I done? And I'm 26, gonna be 27 in a few months, and I feel like I have nothing to show for it. That doesn't mean I have no worth, or my self-worth is based on what I have or what I don't have. It just means that when you know your family is counting on you, there's a different kind of pressure you have. When you know you're not getting any younger, when you can tell that things are weighing on your mom, things are weighing on the ones that you care about, because you are supposed to be the main provider, you can tell that there is a timeline. When you're so stressed out, you have to sit in your car after work and not cry because you're weak or you're upset, simply cry because you're so frustrated with where you are in life. But there's nobody you can talk to, nobody you can tell, because this could be the 10th time you've cried this week. It could be the 10th time you cried today, and nobody's going to understand that struggle. Nobody's going to look at you and tell you, you know what, friend, it's okay, because nobody wants to really be around somebody who's unhappy. People will always want to be around almost a superficial, because it makes it easier for them to distract themselves. I know, because I've been there. When the times that I've complained and I've struggled with who I am as a person, or what I'm going to do for my career, or even talked about things that make me proud or happy, unless it's about somebody else, people I talked about those with did not care. They were like, okay, anyway, so let me tell you about me. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but at the end of the day, you have to decide, are you okay with being put up with that, with never being listened to, never being heard from people that you think are your friends, from trusting those who you think you can, and they show your true colors when you least expect it. It's not about being a distrustful person. I never want you to think that, my brothers and sisters out there. But if you put your faith and your trust in the wrong things and the wrong people, you will 100% of the time always suffer the consequences. And that is something I do not wish on anyone. I'm not perfect, and I've had to learn all these lessons the hard way, because I am a little hard-headed. And if I'm being fully transparent, I've never really had anyone in my corner. And I've always kind of done things just grin and bear it and suffer through the pain. Whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's me getting in my own head, There have been times where I beat my head against the wall because I'm so frustrated that I can't figure out an answer to something. As I'm telling you all this, it's not to make you pity me. It's not to make you think, wow, like, this guy really struggles or this guy has a lot of issues. It's me being open and transparent, that it's okay to not be okay. But it is never okay for you to constantly be okay with not trying to improve who you are or improve your situation. If you are not fighting every single day with everything you have in you to improve who you are, your circumstances, say you don't love yourself enough, but you have family that's depending on you. If you're not fighting every single day to improve for them, then that is a problem. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing? Now, I know that may seem kind of harsh. And if I'm being honest, that's just the truth. If you're not trying to improve yourself for yourself, at least do it for your loved ones. They need you. Now, as a man, I've always come from the understanding that we have to do everything. You know, we have to suffer in silence. We can't talk about our emotions. Nobody tells us they're really proud of us. Nobody even gets you flowers unless you're dead, right? Now, I'm not saying that every man is this way, just like I'm not saying every woman doesn't understand struggle. That's never been the case. But from my experience and my upbringing is what I'm speaking of. I do not want to cause issues or make you all think that I am trying to be something that I'm not. This is just a simple fact of what I've experienced growing up. Now, I know my mom had similar experiences, and she's a woman and she had to go through trying to raise 2 kids by herself, trying to figure out what she was going to do, how she can put food on the table. And I watched her struggle so hard. And there are days where it really gets to me because as old as I am and as much as I put in, I still have nothing to show for it. She still has to work a little bit because I made mistakes that I'm still paying for. She has to be able to help me out because I can't fully support us yet. My dream is to be able to make content, to be able to make videos that help people, that inspire you, to be able to push yourself to do better. And as I look at myself in the mirror, there are times where I question if I'm really the right person to be able to help my family out of where they're at. And in those moments of doubt, in those moments of weakness that I have of myself, I remember one thing: God has never left me, even in my darkest hours, even when I was begging and pleading for an answer, or simply when I was in a really bad spot and I just did not want to be here. He kept me around for a reason, because I know if I were to leave this earth, if I were to not be here, my family would have nobody. There would be no one that comes to help them. And that's a lesson he was trying to show me, that if I'm not willing to do it for myself, if I'm not willing to get up, to push myself harder, to become someone better, then I will never have what it is my family needs, and that will never be okay with me. Yes, I'm not perfect. Yes, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. But at the end of the day, my life's not over yet, just like theirs isn't. My life is just beginning. Today is the first day that I've made decisions for myself, because I realized that being in an environment or being in an area where you're miserable, where things are not getting any better, where you can't do what you want to do, where everyone's always putting you down, they're always questioning you, they're always making you feel like not less than, but nobody can make you feel what you don't want to feel. So there are times where I struggle with self-esteem, if I'm being honest. There are times where I struggle with doubting myself, times where I struggle with my faith, and I realize in all those times the one thing that stays consistent is me. I let myself truly be affected by people who are not where they want to even be at in life. I'm questioning myself if I'm happy over somebody who's so miserable they want to affect me because they've seen me at my happiest. They've seen me wishing them better, and they don't like that. They think that's weird or odd. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you are trying to make this world a better place and you are happy or you're jovial or you're ecstatic about something, never let anybody bring you down. This is going to be harsh, but sometimes you got to keep it to yourself. If you want a safe place that you can come to, you can have somebody that you can talk to about your day or sharing exciting news, I want this account to be for you. I want this channel to be where you find peace, where you find solace, where you find a belonging. That is the community I want to build, because my mom always raised me to every time somebody is being rude or condescending or miserable, you rise above it. You do not rise below it. And if I'm being honest, there have been a lot of times where I kind of did try to rise below it. If I'm being honest, there have been a lot of times where I wasn't the bigger person. And you know what that taught me? That taught me at the end of the day who I am at the core of my being, how hard I want to push, and who I want to truly be when I look at myself in the mirror. When I come home every single day to my family, regardless of what I'm doing, I want to be able to tell them, you know what? I made you proud. like your son's finally doing something with his life. That's my goal, to be able to look my mom in the eyes and tell her you don't have to work anymore. To be able to look at myself, be able to look at my daughter and be like, you know what? I hope you're proud of your father. Those are the times that I really want to be able to look forward to. I know the only way to do that is if I grow this account, if I grow this channel. So starting tomorrow, I will have even more content, similar kind of shooting like this, but more of my day-to-day, more of a positive message, more of an impact on this earth. My brothers and sisters out there, I do pray for a better world, a better future for my family, and just a brighter life for you. I know with everything going on in this world, everyone's suffering. I just want to be able to be a place you can go to escape that suffering, even if it's only for a little bit. And hopefully, when you get strong enough to realize the messages that are in my videos, you're able to overcome it a lot more than just a few minutes that you watch my videos. I hope these videos can inspire you to do better, to be better, and to want more for yourself. My brothers and sisters out there, it's great to see you all. I thank you for everything you've ever done, for all those who showed up since day one, and I pray that my content can become better. I pray that you stick around, and above all, I'm thankful that you're here today. Thank you for always sticking around, from those who've been my day ones and to those who will watch this video in the future. I just want you to know that your decisions are important. How you feel matters, and who you are matters. Thank you for being here today, my friends. Have a great day.